we have some breaking news that we need to get.
Yes, that breaking news, a shelter in place now lifted at Navy Pier hours after a gunman shot 2 people at the popular tourist spot.
Chicago police are about to hold a news conference right now for an update. Let's listen in.
Today, approximately 1:18 in the afternoon, officers of the 18th district responded to shots fired, possibly several individuals shot, on the north side of Navy Pier at an administrative office on the loading dock. At this time, we believe a disgruntled ex-employee entered the loading dock, fired multiple shots, striking 2 individuals who were taken to Northwestern Hospital where they succumbed to their injuries. At this time, on behalf of Superintendent Snelling, we'd like to offer our condolences to the victims, their families, and their loved ones. We do have a person of interest, at which time we are actively seeking at this time. Area 3 detectives are on the scene, still processing the scene. It's very early in this investigation. There was immediate and quick collaboration between the 18th district officers and men and women of the police department that worked in conjunction with Navy Pier security to immediately secure Navy Pier. And at no time were any individuals in danger. This was an isolated incident with a disgruntled ex-employee, at which time, like I said, we will actively pursue. So with that, at this time, I'd like to introduce Brian Murphy.
Thank you, Chief. On behalf of Navy Pier, we also send our condolences to the families of the victims who just came to work today. And we also like to thank the Chicago Police Department and other first responders for their immediate response. They were here within minutes. This was an isolated incident in a non-public space at Navy Pier. And we immediately implemented our security protocols and locked down Navy Pier. We notified all of our tenants to do the same. And once we were able to determine that the offender had left the property, and police were able to, ensure that we're back up and open at Navy Pier. At no time did we feel like anybody from the public was in danger, that this was more of a targeted issue that occurred today at Navy Pier.
Mr. Murphy, originally, did you know whether or not that gunman had come into the loading zone, coming into the pier, or did your video give indication that he ran away from the pier originally? What do you know?
So, as a former employee of the subcontractor, he had access, he knew how to get to that back loading dock area. And then we used our cameras to identify the fact that he left the pier after the fact.
Did the gunman make it into the offices, the administrative offices, or where exactly did this happen?
It happened in the loading dock area. There was a private office in the loading dock area where it occurred.
Were the victims also male?
The victims were male.
Where did they work?
For a subcontractor. I don't want to name them.
A restaurant?
2 more questions,
No.
please. We know you trained for this, but can you talk about when you actually have to lock down the pier, the magnitude of what it entails when communicating with all the businesses and making sure that everyone was safe as it came out today, despite the 2 fatalities? Can you talk about the process?
Yeah, it's a challenging space, right? I mean, we have a big open location. We have 70 different tenants here at the pier, but we do work with them regularly. We use a communication tool that we send out a blast message to all of them to go on to lockdown. And then we use that again once we're able to open again, working with the Chicago Police Department. And again, I couldn't say more than enough about the Chicago Police Department and their response today.
Chief, can you just clarify a little bit about the suspect? If you believe that he fled the pier, is the pier clear now?
The pier is clear now. The pier is safe. We wouldn't open if we didn't believe and know for sure that it was safe.
And what can you tell us about the suspect and what might the public be looking for?
Yes. Right now, we're actively pursuing the suspect. It's very early in the investigation with this, but I was just going to say that we have identified who we believe the suspect is, and we're hoping to have him in custody very shortly.
Last question down here.
Pardon me?
We've been watching a news conference held by the Chicago Police Department about 2 people shot and killed at Navy Pier on the north side of the pier about 1:18 this morning. It happened near a loading dock. Police say that a disgruntled employee fired those shots.
Yes, at this point, they had a shelter in place. That has now been lifted. A person of interest, they say that they are searching for at this hour. And we want to bring in, actually, we already had 2 experts on the set that were going to be with us here for political coverage. But we want to start by asking you, Mayor, former Chicago Mayor, of course, Lori Lightfoot, and Leslie Munger joining us as well. Just in terms of the strategy, you've worked closely with the police department, CPD, on serious incidents like this. Talk to us about the strategy they would have for such a large location like Navy Pier with so many guests, and then the search then for this person.
Well, look, first of all, we have to send our condolences to the 2 people who were killed. Their loved ones and their families. It's a horrible thing to happen at a place that's usually associated with great fun, family gatherings. So my condolences to those individuals and their families. But Navy Pier, because it is, I think, still the largest tourist attraction in the state of Illinois, has a number of different safety protocols. The gentleman in the plain clothes that you heard speaking is the head of their security. He's a former Chicago police officer. So they have very specific protocols in place to make sure that if something happens, they're proactive in communicating with the various folks that are there, the vendors, and then communicating with members of the public. They immediately put the place in lockdown that just got lifted. I'm sure the Chicago police detectives that have been assigned to this case have already started scouring the videotapes, because there's cameras all over Navy Pier, which is why I think they're able probably to have identified a suspect, person of interest that they're pursuing, and having some confidence in saying this was an isolated incident, it was in a non-public area, to reassure the public that Navy Pier is safe. It's an active crime scene right now, but once the detectives and the forensic techs do their work, then it's going to open back up to the public. It's just a horrible shame that it happened, and frankly, coming on the heels of the tragedy last night where we saw a young police officer lose his life. We must also give prayers and support to his family. It's tragic whenever that happens, and it just reminds us of the dangers that our police officers run to every single day.
Thank you, Mayor.